Hello, my name is Kimble, and I'm making this video for my African American Literature class. In this video, I'm addressing topics A and B. A says, clearly compare and contrast your impressions about African American literature/culture before you enroll in African American literature with the understanding that you have now that class is over. Before I take an African American literature, to be honest, I didn't give African American history much thought. I knew the basic information about well-known African American people like Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King Jr. But that was in school. They didn't teach much about African American history. They just talked about slavery and the main people who were against it. Since I have taken African American literature, it just blows my mind that there were just so many people who contributed to African literature. And all these people wanted to do was make a difference, who had a voice that I never heard of. One main topic that caught my attention was comparing and contrasting the ideas of W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Both men had their own great idea for how blacks should handle their situation back then, with them being slaves and being looked down upon by the white man. Du Bois believed that African Americans should take actions and should fight for what they wanted, while Washington, who wasn't as aggressive, believed that African Americans should wait and be patient and get their education and wait for the right race to accept them. Topic B says, directly address your peers who may not have the opportunity to enroll in African American literature. What, if anything, do you want to let them know about the importance of reading African American literature? Well, to the people who don't have a chance to take this class, you're missing out. African American literature is important because it shows you just how much blacks influenced time and how they had such a big contribution to literature. It makes you appreciate for the time that you were born in. Many kids just aren't as obsessed by skin color as previous generations. Black literature is an incredible, unique, and sensitive genre. It's like being on an emotional roller coaster. At some points, because at one moment you could be reading a book or watching a movie and you're just so into it and it's just so fascinating, and at other moments you could be reading and it gets so graphic in certain texts. You're just like, wow, they used to treat blacks like this, or they used to treat us that bad. Or you're thinking to yourself, they let the white race do that to our people? Yeah, it got pretty graphic. But overall, the class was great. You learn a lot. You learn just so much about African history, what our ancestors used to do, all these people who used to fight for us. Like, it really gives you a different outlook on life and how life used to be. And just makes you have a whole new appreciation for life and black culture. But that's my video. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Benson, for teaching me.